Out of the blue corner, he's wearing black with white and weighed in the same as his opponent, 8 stone, 5 pounds. Hailing from Croydon, London, he has a professional record consisting of 15 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 no contest, with 6 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former undefeated WBC flyweight champion of the world, Charlie the Eagle Edwards.
Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest shooter corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Have a good one.
It's an important comeback fight for Charlie Edwards as he wants to really put the past behind him and that Julio Cesar Martínez battering that he took at the O2 Arena on the Loma Campbell undercard. And he's doing it, stepping up 2 weight classes against Kyle Williams. Now, the one thing, Tim, you mentioned knockout percentages, and both fighters have over 30 fights as pros, only 9 knockouts between them, 3 for Kyle Williams. Charlie Edwards has the other 6, so pretty much, it looks like we're going to go to the judges this evening.
There's a possibility to go to the judges, but, you know, when I say they don't have knockout power, what I mean by that statement is that, you know, even if you see the punch coming, you can hurt a guy. You know, that's having real, raw knockout punching power. You know, you can also catch a guy when he doesn't see the shot coming and actually hurt him. It only takes 5 pounds of pressure to knock a grown man out.
Kyle Williams, a former kickboxer, and you'll see a lot of that as part of the recurring theme this evening, as also Josh Taylor was a former kickboxer. His opponent, Apinun Konsong, was a former Muay Thai fighter. So a lot of these young fighters have that martial arts background as well. But Kyle Williams, he knows that the way to get to Charlie Edwards is to pressure. The interesting thing here will be how he does it in an intelligent manner.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Williams, he seems to do a lot of good things inside the ring. He does things pretty well, but he does things at the wrong time and at the wrong distance. You know, sometimes I see him, he press when he don't have to press. You know, he steps back when he doesn't need to step back. But, you know, he overcompensates a lot with his offense because his lack of experience. Like you said, he's a kickboxer. You know, he's learning right now, still on the job. You know, right now, Edwards, you know, I see right now that he still hasn't been able to settle down his feet. You know, that was one of the things that I caught while watching film. You know, he's constantly moving. So it's really hard to generate punching power when you're constantly moving backwards. You know, punching, when you're moving, it allows you to be able to create angles for every punch, yes, but it also takes something from your punching power.
Edwards, a former world champion, with black trumps trimmed in white, and Williams coming in with black trumps trimmed with gold. Both are wearing the white gloves, so not a lot of difference there. The other biggest difference is the tattoos on the body of Charlie Edwards, who's got several tattoos, as you can see. He's got the lion, the crown, the lightning of Zeus, the third eye, an eagle. So that's the best way of distinguishing between Williams and Edwards.
Ricardo, you said something, you know, early in this round. You said that, you know, he's a little weak. Edwards is a little weak, you know, when it comes to pressure, you know, because of what we saw against Martinez. But that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. You got to understand that this young man, he's been at this lower weight class for some time now, you know, flyweight. And that weakens your body. You know, so the fact that he's moved up, I think that he's actually stronger now than he was when he was a champion.
And that's what his belief is, the fact that, you know, he's been sparring against, you know, bantamweights like Paul Butler, Ryan Burnett. He says he feels stronger, he feels faster, he feels that he's going to continue to have that good movement. Now it's a matter of putting it out there and executing that once you're there. But my biggest concern is what's awaiting him at 115, at 118 pounds. And we'll get into it as the fight progresses, Tim, because there's some monsters in those weight classes, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you know, for now, it's a solid start for Charlie Edwards, who says he wants to feel stronger, he wants to be stronger, and he has an opportunity against Kyle Williams in his showcase fight to show that. Round 2 of a scheduled 10-round fight coming to you from London. I'm Bernardo Osuna alongside former world champion Timothy Bradley. Glad you're spending your early Saturday afternoon with us.
See, Edwards is a superior boxer. You know, uses his feet most of the time to get out of range. Doesn't move his head all too much. You know, fights off the jab, then changes positions. You know, and as you can see, Williams, what he wants to do is he wants to get in the inside. He wants to try to slow down and break down Edwards. But you can tell he's trying to think. He's trying to think about getting to that inside of Edwards.
Kyle Williams in his career has been down in his 2 most important fights against Inut Valuta, who just had a knockout win earlier on the undercard in London, and then Ukashir Farouk, to whom he lost the English bantamweight title. He also was dropped against Thomas Esomba, a fight that he was able to come back and win. He's been vulnerable before, and that's probably what Edwards' people saw when they chose Williams to be his comeback opponent and his first opportunity at 118 pounds.
Well, Williams just dropped his lead hand, so expect the right hand to come right over the top of that lower left hand of Williams from Edwards.
Williams looking to counter while he comes forward, which is kind of awkward, stretching out that jab, but unable to find Charlie Edwards.
You're right. You know, Williams, he can do a little bit of everything. You know, he can switch southpaw. I think we're going to see him switch southpaw now. He can fight an orthodox stance. He also can pressure, and then you see him on the outside trying to box as well. I think in this fight, what's going to suit him, more importantly, is getting in the inside and breaking Edwards down to the body and pressuring him.
The best thing would be to remind him of what Julio Cesar Martinez did to him August 31st of 2019 out there at the O2 Arena. If you can get him back in that mindset of having to survive that type of punishment, that's the one thing that Charlie Edwards has struggled with. Nice left hand there from Williams at the close of round number 2. And this is the type of fight that you want if you're in Kyle Williams' corner.
Yeah, this is the type of fight you want if you're in his corner, but this is also the type of fight that you want for your man Charlie Edwards. You know, coming up to 118 pounds, he's not fighting a guy that can punch really hard, but a guy that's pretty decent.
And Tim, this is the division that Charlie Edwards skipped. Roman Gonzalez, Juan Francisco Estrada, Kazuto Ioka, and Jerwin Arcajas. All great fighters who all punch hard. And then, now he's competing at 118 pounds where you've got the monster Naoya Inoue, Nordine Ouvaly, the Frenchman, and Jean-Riel Casimero, who he already lost to. So we're talking about a big step, not only in competition, but in terms of how good these guys are.
This is what it's about. You know, competition, Bernardo, that's what it's about. And you got to come up there and you got to test the competition. I understand that he lost to Casimero, but adding this extra weight could help him in these fights. You know, at the end of the day, Bernardo, it boils down to skills and also will, you know. And Edwards, he does have some skills. I do see some holes in his defense. I do see some holes in his arsenal, you know, and that these guys can exploit. So, you know, he's going to have to be learning on his job, you know, if he wants to fight any of those champions in 118 pounds.
I mean, I remember when we were at the broadcast of the Julio Cesar Martinez fight, we were, you know, making light of the fact that he was beating guys up in jail before getting this world title opportunity. I mean, when you look at Roman Gonzalez and Juan Francisco Estrada, who have been in the pound-for-pound conversation, and you look at Naoya Inoue, who's also in that pound-for-pound conversation, these are the type of guys that don't allow for those type of mistakes. And that's why tonight is a big test for Charlie Edwards to see where he is in reality, because we got to take into account he's got to be back psychologically and from that loss, which was a battering. And that's why Williams, to me, is a get-well fight. But he's also got to prove that he can look spectacular, that he can look good and be on the top level. But because even he admitted, look, I'm not an elite fighter at 118 yet. I may be ranked, but I need to prove myself.
Yeah, and he knows that he needs to test the water, and that's what he's doing tonight. And he didn't lose. It ended up being a no contest. So, you know, I don't know about psychological. Yeah, it was a no contest. I don't know about psychological that he's messed up. You know, I could just say that what I'm watching right now is that his transition, when he's in transition from offense to defense, Bernardo, he's not that great. He moves when he doesn't have to move. He moves a little bit too much. And so these guys like Inoue and Casemiro and all that, they're going to be walking him down and trying to set him up for the big shot over the top. He got to learn how to operate at mid-range, and also how to learn when to move and also when to fight.
Well, Tim, you're getting soft on me now, because I do recall that night you said even if they counted to 100 after the first knockdown, you didn't think he was going to be able to continue and win this fight. So now all of a sudden you're like, it's not a loss. Yeah, on the record it says no contest, but he got beat that night.
Hey, he got beat that night, Bernardo. Let's keep it real. He got a way out. He took it.
Yeah.
He took the way out, yes, but it was a foul. You cannot hit a man when he's on the ground.
I agree.
But, yeah, we saw the same thing, Bernardo.
Even when we were talking about pounds and dollars, it was still the same thing. Pounds, dollars, pesos with Julio Cesar Martinez, it didn't matter. He was battering him that night. And that's why, to me, it's really an important comeback fight for him, because, you know, Williams is in here. Williams is coming at him, and that's a good challenge for him. But he's not the monsters that you'll be facing at 15 or 18 if he decides to stay here. And that's also a good distinction for Edwards and his team to make.
Yeah, he'll stay here. I think he'll be here for a little while, and I think that, you know, eventually he'll step up and fight one of those guys. He is rated pretty high already at number 3, but I'm sure he's going to take his time, pick the right fights, and then step up to fight one of these champions.
Charlie Edwards comes from a fighting family, and that is his brother, Sonny Edwards. His older brother, who's 15-0 with 4 knockouts. He's a prospect at super flyweight, and I mentioned that he comes from a family of fighters because his mother has overcome breast cancer, several brain bleeds, to become his biggest inspiration.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You know, Edwards moving when he shouldn't. He should be ready and set the punch. He should get his head up off the line, and that's what he's not doing. You know, he's standing right there, or he's moving backwards, trying to use his feet as defense instead of moving his head, and he's getting caught on the way out. Williams needs to continue to do that type of stuff.
Timothy Bradley, glad you're with us here on Top Rank Boxing on ESPN Plus, the long-awaited debut of Josh Taylor on ESPN and with Top Rank. He signed in the month of January, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, his fight against Apinun Konsong was postponed from May until tonight, but he has his opportunity finally to fight on ESPN Plus and ESPN platform, so we're excited to have the unified champion Josh Taylor and the possibility of what may come in 2021 against Jose Ramirez. For now, it's Charlie Edwards taking on Kyle Williams.
Bernardo, beautiful sequence right now from Edwards, using his jab. Beautiful. Got a guy walking straight in. Use your jab. Use your stick. It's the longest weapon you have inside the ring. Look at that. Just beating him down with the jab. That's just nice. That's great fundamentals right there from Edwards.
Yeah, and the referee, Bob Williams, right there warning Kyle Williams for pulling on the neck of Charlie Edwards while he was connecting to the body. But you're right. Beautiful work with the jab of Charlie Edwards here in the 4th round of a scheduled 10-rounder.
See Williams stepping back right there. You see him step back and just do a little dance right there. That's called resetting, regrouping. You know, he didn't like what he saw, so he stepped back, you know, cleared his head a little bit, feet. He was like, all right, I'm going to come up with this approach this time. With a different approach.
And that's what the good fighters do. Once again, that stick right out there on the face of Kyle Williams. Williams trying to make it awkward. That's one of the benefits that he has by switching southpaw, going orthodox as well, but it's that kickboxer's mentality that he has of being able to do different things, you know, both in terms of footwork, but can't get away from the punches of Charlie Edwards here in the 4th round, as Edwards seems to finally be warming up, finding his range.
The jab is what's creating all this offense. That's what it is. The jab is the main weapon that's landing for Edwards. And you're right, Bernardo. You know, Williams is trying to make things difficult. You know, he's dropping his hands. He's trying to invite in Edwards, trying to get Edwards to make a mistake. But Edwards is staying underneath himself, shooting a jab. Nice right hand right there by Edwards.
Round 4 comes to a conclusion. We'll listen in to Grant Smith, who's Charlie Edwards' trainer.
Concentrate, yeah? You listen to what we're doing. 4 good rounds. Every round's getting better now. Yeah? Good lad. Stick to the rhythm. You've got the rhythm now, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah? Stick to it. Okay? Don't try too hard now. That's the rhythm we need. Yeah? Good jams, good singles. You're picking everything lovely now. You're getting frustrated. What's he throwing out every time?
Swinging.
Left hooks. Yeah? Side to side. Hit the gaps when he's wanting to chase. Yeah? When he wants to hold his gab sometimes. Jab, jab when you feel it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah? Really cool. Good lad. Picking them shots lovely.
And there is the unified world champion, Josh Taylor, getting his hand wraps signed off by the British Boxing Board of Control. And there's Ben Davison, the man who will be in charge of his corner. That's our main event this evening, as Josh the Tartan Tornado Taylor takes on Apinun Konsung. We're now in round 5 of a scheduled 10-round fight between Charlie Edwards and Kyle Williams. Edwards with the black trunks trimmed in white, Williams with the black trunks trimmed in gold.
See, this is
After
what I like
a great
from
4th round for Charlie Edwards, let's see how he builds on here in round number 5.
Yeah, what I like from Edwards right now is he's standing his ground a little bit. You see the left hand down. What he's doing is he's throwing the up jab. It's coming from a different direction, up between the gloves of Williams. See, this is
Nice
what I
quick
needed to see,
combinations
Bernardo.
from Charlie Edwards as he moves and pops. And there's that stick once again. Everything off the jab, as Timothy Bradley eloquently points out, throwing it from different angles, and that's establishing his offensive prowess here.
He's not moving.
Beautiful
Edwards is
jab.
not moving a whole lot. He's moving just enough right now. Oh, got hit. Turned his back when he threw a left hook.
Yeah, he overcommitted. He got clipped, and his glove almost touched the canvas, but was able to maintain his balance, but put himself in a very dangerous position there, did Edwards. Williams is starting to find his range as well in terms of throwing those long looping shots that tend to catch Edwards right when he overcommits.
Williams is applying the pressure. He's chasing a little bit. Edwards can set him up for a counter if he wants to. See, Edwards, that's not where he wants to be. He can't be on the ropes. You know, this is going to favor Williams. You got to understand that the judges watching, they can't see all the action when your back is against the rope. It's better to be in the center of the ring so they can see everything.
Right now, the man who's in the center of the ring and has taken over that position is Kyle Williams. Earlier on, it had been Charlie Edwards who was dictating the pace. Now he's allowing Williams to come forward.
See, Bernardo,
you see the
you can't.
left hand there from Williams in the southpaw stance.
Yeah, you can't give up ground like that. You know, when you're moving back, when you have your opponent, you know, close like Williams is right now, you got to fight, stay there and fight back. You know, choose your spots wisely. Then when you get all the way out, then you can move. See, moments like that, Bernardo. Moments like that,
We're about to
Bernardo.
hit the midway point of this fight, Tim, and it's going to be interesting to see some replays of the action we saw, especially here in round number 5, because it had its ebbs and flows, going first in favor of Charlie Edwards, and then Kyle Williams with the closeout.
See, that was a nice shot right there by Williams. Right hand, and then you see Edwards out of position right there. Then Williams tried to attack him while he was out of position. Williams just being very physical, making this fight very difficult for Edwards. Edwards can
It looked like
easily
their
win
feet
this
got caught
fight.
up.
Little bit, but Edwards can easily win this fight. He showed us 2 rounds ago that if he used his jab and maintained distance outside, makes things a lot easier for himself.
5 down, 5 to go. Yeah?
Starting the second half of this scheduled 10-rounder, Bernardo Osuna alongside Timothy Bradley, coming to you from York Hall in Bethnal Green, London. Last time we were in London, Tim, I was out there with Andre Ward, went to buy some tea, had a little cup earlier this morning to remember our visit to the O2 Arena for the Lomachenko-Campbell fight, which is the last time we saw Charlie Edwards in the ring.
It was the last time we saw Charlie Edwards in the ring. It's been some time since he's been in the ring. It's been over a year, Bernardo. Been over a year.
14 months to be exact, and that's the one thing that he wants to regain all that lost ground.
Yeah, it takes you know, when you're off that long, it takes a little time. It does. It takes some time to get your sea legs back, baby. You know, it takes about 4 rounds. Typically 4 rounds to start feeling good, you know, open up those lungs. And as you can see, Edwards is doing a good job right now. Again, establishing his distance with his jab. And occasionally he gets a little lackadaisical on his defense, though. And I love what Williams is doing, attacking him, not letting him rest.
And for Williams, it's been 11 months since he was last in the ring. And you mentioned round 4, that was Edwards' best round, and it was all behind that stick jab, which he's going back to here in round number 6. When he sticks that jab out there, it's a completely different fight, and it favors Charlie Edwards. See those quick combinations from Charlie Edwards?
You know, a lot of times we talk about the jab to the stomach. See, when you have a guy coming forward at you, most of the time, you know, it's a good tool to use. A good weapon to use is the jab down to the belly. That's going to stop him in place for just a split second. So that way you can set him up with a big shot over the top.
Edwards spins Williams out of the way. Williams is looking down at the ground trying to catch an angle on Charlie Edwards, but Edwards too smart ball for that.
Bernardo, that don't win you fights.
From Williams.
That doesn't win you fights, Bernardo. I don't care how flashy you looking or you're saying, oh, he's not doing anything or whatever. The judges are looking at that. You know, that doesn't win you fights. Winning fights, you win fights by punching the other man in the face or the body.
Round 6 is in the books, and the sport of boxing has a lot going for it. The Charlo twins are having a pay-per-view doubleheader where they will headline. Jermall will put his WBC middleweight title on the line against Sergey Derevyanchenko, whose only losses have been to Triple G and Jacobs in very debated fights. Jermell unifies his WBC junior middleweight belt with WBA and IBF champion Jason Rosario. Terrence Crawford against Kell Brooks, reportedly for November 14th on ESPN. Still to be determined is the location of that fight. And we have an update on the Canelo DAZN Golden Boy situation. They were in mediation for 10 hours last Tuesday, and Canelo's side has until Monday to refile their lawsuit, and we'll see where that goes and when we will see Canelo Alvarez back in the ring. So, Tim, what do you think of the Charlos going at it tonight?
Richie's card, Charlie Edwards ahead, but still 4 to
Bernardo,
go.
I can't wait to the Charlo fight, man. You know when I hear the Charlo brothers, I think of bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the Charlos come for you? Man, those boys can fight, man. Those are complete professionals right there. And I can't wait to these gentlemen fight.
And they're ultra competitive. They're twins, so I've got a special place in my heart for twins. They're a minute apart, and Jamal's the older by a minute. He's already been the 154-pound champion. Now he's a 160-pound champion. But Derevyanchenko is the fight that can set him up for the big fights that he's asking for, the big names, whether it be Triple G, whether it be Canelo. It's legitimacy that's at stake for Jamal Charlo, because he feels that he belongs among the big dogs at 160, but he hasn't had the big names as of yet, and this is a name that puts him closer to prove that he belongs again, amongst the big dogs.
I agree with that.
I agree with that jab from Charlie Edwards. As long as he keeps snapping that back, and we see a little bit of inflammation in the left eye of Kyle Williams. He's been very successful with that jab and movement.
Yeah, you want to slow down a guy movement? Go down to the body. Send some shots down to the body. He's going to have to, brace himself to be able to absorb those body punches.
Charlie Edwards recently got engaged. He's also expecting a child in January, so he's going to be a father. He said all of that has helped me focus, be more motivated than ever. As a boxer, Tim, you got to use any little bit of motivation that can get you over the hump and to the next level.
Yes, it starts with you first and foremost. But, fighters, we can gather energy, and determination from other things, outside of boxing, like family. Floyd Mayweather, it was money and family. So, a child will do that to you, man.
See that pressure and body work there from Williams. That only happens when Charlie Edwards allows him to pull forward.
Yeah, that's called giving up ground. That's what Edwards do. He gives up too much ground. He allows Williams just to walk straight through the front door. You got to keep giving him something. Put something in his face. Don't allow him to. Don't step back and give up ground. Stand your ground.
As round 7 comes to an end, we're going to see if his trainer, Grant Smith, has the same perspective that you do, Tim, in terms of not giving up ground.
Feeling it. You notice? He's trying to have a good start, and then he's fading. Yeah, he's trying to save a bit of everything, and then at last 20 he's trying to have a little burst again. Yeah, all good, all good. Lovely. Yeah, you're putting him around the sides now, don't you? Obviously, it's there. Let's have a look at this now.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? Yeah. Only, don't reach. Yeah. Even if it's short, have a feel for it short. Keep that jab good.
There's his brother, Sonny Edwards, concerned
Chin down.
about his brother's performance. More nerves than anything else, because he's doing a good job. He should be winning this fight, unofficially on the scorecards from what we've seen. But you can never be sure. You can never believe anything's in the bag when it comes to boxing and judging. Round 8 of a scheduled 10-rounder. Alongside Timothy Bradley, I'm Bernardo Osuna. Glad you're spending this Saturday afternoon with us. Evening, night if you are out in London, where Charlie Edwards is taking on Kyle Williams in the undercard of Josh Taylor afternoon Kumsan. Edwards has a little pep in his step tonight, Tim. Although he gets tagged there with a nice left hook to the body. And a nice uppercut from Williams.
See, these are perfect opportunities right now, especially if you having a hard time dealing with a pressure fighter that's in your grill, in your mug all the time. You got to learn how to tie him up. You know, a lot of people don't like tying up guys. Tie up the man. That will stop his momentum. That will buy you some time. That's going to allow you to get a little breather and regroup.
Williams just remembered he's got a jab too.
Yeah, well, right now, what I'm seeing right now is just class. There's just levels to this game, man. There's levels to everything in life. And Edwards is just showing that, you know, he's just a different class. He's above, you know, Williams as far as
He
skill.
caught Williams coming in with a nice check left hook. And now he's holding on as Williams had his pride injured, and he's trying to come forward and get all of that back with those punches. Nice counter left once again from Charlie Edwards. Just waiting for the moment when Williams opens up and he can catch him.
See, Edwards is here because he wants to be here on the ropes. He's looking for the hook, like you said, Bernardo. He's trying to punch in between those shots coming from Williams.
He did there successfully once again.
See, that's a smart thing right there.
Punishing shots.
That's a smart thing right there from Edwards. He saw that his man had punched himself a little bit out, and then he turned on the jets. Now he's trying to work his offense.
Give and take action here at the end of round number 8, taking place along the ropes. And Charlie Edwards once again has the ability to counter quick and land that left hook.
Look, these are the type of fights that can be tricky. Beautiful check left hook right there from Edwards. Williams coming forward, trying to be aggressive, putting the pressure on Edwards. Edwards is holding his own in the inside, I believe, you know, and bracing down himself, you know, protecting his body, coming back in between the wide shots of Williams. Williams is doing a lot right there. It looks like he's doing a lot, but he's not landing a whole lot.
Josh Taylor, Apanu Konsong, that's our main event later on this evening. WBA and IBF junior welterweight titles on the line for the Tartan Tornado against mandatory challenger from Thailand, and that'll be in just a few minutes. We're in round 9 of a scheduled 10 rounder. We saw the blood streaming from the mouth of Kyle Williams as he was heading back to his corner there in round number 9, and as he was coming back out, so that's got to be an issue for him, swallowing his own blood.
It sure as
That
heck don't
triple
taste
jab
good.
from Charlie Edwards. Neither does that jab, Tim.
No, you know, it's so funny because when you get hit with the jab, whatever you thought about doing, it just goes away. That's why the jab is so important, man. Seriously, I'll be in some fights and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then boop, I get hit with the jab. I'm like, what was I gonna do again?
Yeah, it makes you reset.
Yes, it does. Ooh, that was a beautiful right hand right there from Williams. He hurt Edwards with that right hand.
Yeah, that's why Edwards is having a tie up here in round number 9. And if Williams sees that he hurt him, he can really do some more damage as Edwards continue to be on his bike and move laterally. But there he is, tying up, trying to recover physically from that shot. Ooh, there it is once again, a big right hand from Williams. Only 3 knockouts in his 13 professional fights, but he's got no problem trying to make it number 4 here against Charlie Edwards.
Remember we talked about the 118 pounders? Bernardo? Edwards better stay far away from them 118 pounders. Stay
Right?
far away. Yes, stay far away. You know, good
Even
boxer.
at 115, he's got some brutal knockout artists at 115 that they don't allow you to take these kind of breaks.
No, he just make a lot of fun. He just has a lot of fundamental flaws. You know, good jab in spots, picks up his feet a little bit too much at times, gets himself in bad positions like that there.
But hopefully he'll take tonight to say, look, I'm not ready for the Naoya Inoues or the Casimiros or the Ubalis of the world, but you know what? Let me take a shot at Ancajas and Ioka and Roman Gonzalez, see if he's a little long in the tooth now. Or, you know, Juan Francisco Estrada. Those are the type of guys that, you know, at 115 he may have a shot at, but he's got a lot of improving to do.
He ain't beating those guys either. I'm just letting you know that right now. I mean, he's fighting, literally he's fighting a journeyman right now, in my opinion, you know. And Williams is just, he's just fighting hard. That's all he's doing. He's just fighting hard and fighting back.
Good luck.
Edwards, both these guys are inside the trenches right now. Good offense right there. You saw Williams step back just to get a little space, and Edwards saw it as well and met him with some nice 1-2 combinations. You know, when you in the trenches,
See the face of Kyle Williams, not the worst for wear, but you see the inflammation over the left eyelid and then the mouse under the right eye. And Charlie Edwards looks pretty clean here as we prepare for the 10th and final round of this fight.
Bernardo, when you in the trenches, you can't give a little space. If you give a little space, you probably want to go to the sides. Exit out the side door. Don't go straight back, because then that allows your opponent just to extend with his hands, just as Edwards did in that sequence.
And here, you know, Williams just coming in, trying to finish the fight, trying to put an exclamation point on what he was able to do in round number 9. We'll see what kind of reaction Charlie Edwards has here.
If I'm in Williams' corner right now, I'm telling them to go for it. Throw everything you got.
Oh,
Make
nice
this
1-2 there from Charlie Edwards. Catches Williams coming in. Edwards has the tools. He's got the intelligence. He's got the boxing IQ. It's just sometimes he takes a lot of time off in the round, and Williams tries to make him pay, but he gets caught coming in because he's so rudimentary.
Yeah, rudimentary. Well, Edwards is predictable. That's the reason why Williams is having success. A lot of success at moments. He's just predictable. Jab, 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 right hand occasionally, jab, jab. Really no body work or anything. That's not hard to figure out. That's not hard to figure out.
There it is, 1-2, quick. 1-2, buckle my shoe, move out the way, make my opponent go into the ropes. Edwards is ranked number 3 by the WBC at 118 by virtue of being the champion at 112 pounds and moving up 2 weight classes, but that's a tall order at 118 pounds to be able to compete with the big dogs there, especially the champion in Naoya Inoue, who we'll be seeing later on this fall in Las Vegas, taking on Maloney.
See, I like that sequence right there from Edwards. You know, worked a little bit, tied up, moved on the angle, tied up again, worked a little bit. That's what he needs to do.
Williams loading up to the body there with the right hand.
And what do you see
Last
Edwards
20
doing?
seconds of this fight scheduled for 10.
When Williams is going down to that body, Edwards leans just a little bit forward. Williams can throw an uppercut and he'll land.
Just doesn't have the wherewithal to do the things that the elite fighters at 115 and 118 would do against Charlie Edwards, who should be well on his way to his next professional victory. Should improve him to 16 victories as a pro. Once again, could not get the knockout, but it was a good comeback fight. We talked about how important was it for him to get back psychologically from that fight against Julio Cesar Martinez and to prove that to himself that he is a world-class fighter, and he should have done enough tonight, Tim.
You know, I don't know how they're going to be judging this fight. You had one guy going forward who was Williams, putting on the pressure and had Edwards back against the ropes for most of this fight. But, you know, Edwards, when he was out at distance and he was using his jab, it was easy for him. But he would stray away from that. You know, he made this fight really difficult for himself tonight. And moving forward, if he gets this win moving forward, he's going to have to go back in the gym and he's have to better his craft. He really is. He's have to look at this fight. He's going to slow his feet down. Small, minor steps, either left or right. You know, he's going to have to learn how to tie up guys, to slow guys down, because I'm going to let you know right now, if I see this fight, I'm taking it to Edwards, and I know that the top guys in the division see the same thing that I see, and they're going to come after him, just as Martinez did.
That's exactly how they're salivating if they're looking at Charlie Edwards, saying, bring him on. If he's number 3, I'll take a shot and give him an opportunity at a world title, as they both come to the center of the rings. Kyle Williams gave a valiant effort in only his 13th professional fight as a pro, and we'll hear who won this fight with Thomas Triber with the official decision from London.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Bob Williams, scores this contest 99-91 for your winner, Charlie the Eagle Edwards.
As a final word, in London is 99-91 is the official scorecard from Bob Williams. That's all that matters. But when we return, Charlie Edwards gets his win. Will Josh the Tartan Tornado Taylor be able to do the same in his mandatory world title defense against Apinun Konsong? That will be our main event when we return from London.
I believe I'm the best fighter in division. Short-term goal of mine is to unify all the belts. I just want to fight whoever's the best and the best challenges out there. I'm just looking forward to the future and I can't wait to get going.
Inside York Hall at Bethnal Green in London, the time has come for tonight's main event featuring the unified champion at 140 pounds, WBA and IBF junior welterweight world titles on the line for Josh Taylor against mandatory challenger Appanun Konsung. That's just minutes away. I'm Bernardo Osuna, glad to be with you alongside Timothy Bradley. And Tim, I'm not sure if you know this, but I've never had a mandatory challenger before, but I have seen what a difficulty it can be for some champions to get up for the mandatory challenger in the past. And this is a fight that Josh Taylor is expected to win and to do so in impressive fashion. And when it comes to Konsung, now he has a chance to make his championship dream come true, but with little to no outside pressure. So Tim, I'm going to ask you this. From what I've seen, Konsung is pretty basic, but he also seems quite dangerous.
Yes, Bernardo, he is pretty basic, you know, and to me, he's just like his name. Awkward to say, Konsung. You know, he brings a tremendous amount of energy into the ring. He has punching power in both hands, particularly the right hand. That's the punch right there that's going to be effective against the southpaw tonight, Josh Taylor. You know, he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy. He fights in spurts. He's explosive at times. Very, very, very unpredictable. You know, Josh Taylor, I understand why he hired a guy like Ben Davison, you know, because there's some things that he needs to work on, some things that he needs to fix in his arsenal that I believe Ben Davison can fix, because Ben Davison has a keen eye for the sweet science of boxing. He knows when a fighter is making mistakes, and he needs his fighter tonight to not make the mistake and pull it straight back and stand at mid-range and could possibly be hit with the right hand of Konsung and be knocked out. Mandatories are difficult. Yes, you don't know the name of this man Konsung, but at the same time, if you lose your title tonight, you don't get a rematch. And that is the difficult part to me about any fight that's a mandatory.
So all the pressure is on the Tartan Tornado, who returns to the ring for the first time without fans. And you know, much like Jose Ramirez told us that he needed the fans, well, it seems like Josh Taylor really feeds off the fans like he did against Regis Prograis in his last fight when he was able to unify the belts. Now, something that we've seen with Josh Taylor is his left eye tends to swell, and he gets caught by right hands, and pretty much that right hand is the biggest weapon that Konsung has. So what do we have to watch out for Taylor?
Well, for Taylor has a tendency of staying mid-range. So he'll get his offense off, but then he will stay there and admire his work. And what he does is he covers up. He covers up in front. He leaves his body exposed. Like you said, Bernardo, he gets hit with right hands occasionally from the outside. You know, he's a good boxer. He's a southpaw. That's just difficult to deal with in general. He has good size. He's 5'10". But let me tell you guys something. He has short arms. He has the same arm reach as I do, and I'm 5'6". You know, Ramirez has a 72.5-inch reach. You know, it's going to be very, very interesting to see, you know, Josh Taylor deal with a guy with a long reach and that could put that much pressure on him as Ramirez. But for Konsung, he has the chance, a puncher's chance. He doesn't have the experience of Josh Taylor. He doesn't. But he does have punching power, and that is worth caution.
And Tim, it's no secret that we're all looking forward to that Jose Ramirez fight for the unified title, the last one